Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Unless you're new, then welcome, because my name is Rebecca, for those of you who don't know me, and I rarely do videos, and sometimes I get on a binge and I do a bunch and then I spend 2 years off of YouTube. Hey. So basically, I just filmed a whole video while I did my makeup talking about a bunch of stuff, and now I don't want to post it because I talked a little bit too much about things that I don't really want to talk about. So I know I've been off of YouTube for a really long time. I just, you know, life happens. I got married and I had my beautiful wedding. I'm gonna insert a picture. Aren't we pretty? But in this video specifically, I'm gonna talk about my experience at PlayStation. It's not gonna be a super elaborate video. I'm gonna do it super short. I'm just kind of go over. Let me fix myself. I'm gonna just kind of go over what I did over there and what my job was, and you know, the experience of working there. So basically, I applied for an internship position at PlayStation. I had been applying for a long time, but I was having a hard time finding a position that was right for me because I was a bachelor student. I was doing my bachelor's in business administration, well, like a marketing. I'm a marketing major, and I couldn't find really the position for me because a lot of internships at PlayStation do require a master's program, and you know, they're a Fortune 500 company or like 100 company, so they require like from a good well-known school. And not that my school isn't a good school, but it's not super well known. It's known for bad things. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna keep applying. That didn't put my hopes down. And so I saw a position for PlayStation View as a consumer retention and advocacy intern, and I was like, this is perfect because first of all, I love customer relations. I love retail, and I love, you know, customer service. So I was like, this is gonna be bomb. Not that the position was retail, but this is gonna be bomb because I'm gonna, you know, it's more towards my alley. It has to do with marketing research, even though my major is marketing, not marketing research, but still. And it's a perfect position for me. You know, the requirement is just a bachelor's degree. We got this. So I applied and I got a call back, and I went through a whole process of interviews. So I had, I think it was like 2 phone interviews and then like 3 webcam interviews. No, 3 phone interviews and 2 webcam videos, something like that. It was a whole process. And then they finally gave me the call. They had told me that I had gotten the internship, and I was like super excited. I was like, oh my goodness. They paid the flight to go and come back. They also gave me like a little bit of money so that I could find somewhere to live in the time that I was there, because for those of you that don't know, I live in Florida, and the office that I was going to be working in was in Los Angeles, California. So it's on the other side of the country, like completely other side. So I prepared myself. I looked for somewhere to stay, and I lived in California for 3 months over the summer. From March to August, I lived in California, and it was cool. It was stressful because I didn't get to see my family, and my fiance at the time, so my husband, was here by himself, and you know, we couldn't really chat a lot because of the 3-hour difference. It was like every time I would call, it was already super late, and then I wouldn't go to sleep for like much later. So it was stressful, and if I could do it all over again, I totally would, but I would do it differently. I would rather have him go over there with me. I also feel like that because of the stress and because of everything, I mean, I don't want to make excuses, but I really don't feel like I gave my 110%. Let me explain. I went with the intent of learning a little bit more about myself professionally and personally, and you know, getting this new experience, but I knew I wasn't going to get a full-time job. I knew it because of my degree, because I hadn't done my master's yet. I knew it because I knew that I was interested in doing something a little bit different. But I'm not gonna lie, once I got there, my feelings were kind of confirmed. I did not enjoy the position. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I wish it was a little bit more of the general PlayStation marketing, right? So not so much focused on PlayStation View. None of the other interns in the building that I worked in knew anything about gaming. Literally, I think one of the girls played Just Dance. Nobody else knew anything about gaming. It felt kind of like I didn't really have anybody to bond with directly, like any of the other interns. we did get to go to E3, which is super awesome. PlayStation, you know, took us to E3 on the first day, and we got early access, and like we got to be there like an hour earlier, kind of with like all the other media people. They also took us to like LA Escape, which is like the escape rooms and stuff, and it was super cool and like a bonding activity. And I got to meet all these cool interns that did all these amazing jobs, like, you know, people who were drawing and working on video games, and like they were actually like in the office. Like, you know, I knew a few interns that were working in the God of War office in California, and some that were in other locations working on like MLB or like different games. And it was so cool to see these amazingly talented interns. And don't get me wrong, the interns that were in my location were also amazingly talented. I just didn't bond with them because they didn't know video games. So it was hard for me to bond with them. And then during E3, I was really sad because I walked around E3 basically by myself, because I didn't really have, I know it's like super like, I'm doing like a pity, like world's tiniest violin, like really pity story for myself, but like, but it did suck. It did suck to not be able to bond with other interns and not get the opportunity to share that kind of, you know, the idea of going to PlayStation is that you're surrounded by all these people who are similar to you and have a passion for games like you do. And not even my boss played video games, and she didn't like them actually, and which is totally fine, but it was kind of, you know, a little frustrating that I didn't get to share that kind of experience. It was still nice though, because my boss was a super nice lady, and you know, she was always very supportive, and she always gave me really good tips and tricks and stuff like that. The experience in general was great. I'm gonna put a link down below in the description of the intern video that I did with other interns and with the PlayStation team, and it was so much fun, honestly, like so cool. And you know, E3 was awesome, and I would love to go again, with this time with people that I know. I also got to go to the Fortnite after party, which I had to leave early, and I totally missed Marshmallow DJing and stuff, and like when all the famous people actually came out, like, you know, all the famous Fortnite players actually came out, because I had to leave early because my cell phone was dying and I didn't know how to get from the stadium or from the Coliseum, whatever it was, back to my apartment, like where I was staying. So if I didn't leave before my phone died, I was gonna be stuck there, and I didn't have a charger, so I was gonna be stuck there and would nowhere to get home. Let me show you one thing. So I did get a bunch of stuff when I was at E3, and PlayStation did give us some cool stuff. Also, shout out to the, I don't know if they're ever gonna see this, but shout out to the like technical support guys. They were bomb. They took me to the Sony lot and showed me around, and I got to see some cool stuff. I'll post some pictures here. So I got to see some really cool stuff, and it was a lot of fun. But this is one of the coolest things that I got, and this is my favorite thing. So first of all, look at this cool button. This was for like the Pride. They had like a Pride Day, like, you know, and it was super cool. And look at this cool guy. It's a super like sturdy, thick book bag, which is super awesome because I take this on every trip I go, and it says PlayStation. So we got this with a cool lanyard on the very first day that we got there, and yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a fun experience. It was something different, and I do wish that I would have kind of put in a little bit more, maybe done a little things a little bit differently. I think I would have liked to be a little bit more involved. The building where I was at had 0 games being created. Excuse me, I think I'm getting hiccups. Had 0 games being created in it. And then the God of War, the building where they created God of War was nearby, and I did get to go visit it because the technical support guys took me, like, you know, those guys took me over there, and I got to see, I'll insert some pictures of that as well. But so that was pretty awesome, and I had a really good time over there, and people were super nice. I don't know what I was expecting. I kind of had these super high expectations about like what I was gonna do over there. And I should have realized, I mean, it was my own fault because it said PlayStation View. So I should have known that it was PlayStation View and only View. But I thought I was going to have the opportunity to be in closer contact with people who are doing things with video games and be able to surround myself with other people who had similar interests as me. So that was kind of a bummer, but it was still lots of fun, and I really appreciate the opportunity, and I couldn't be any more grateful that I was able to go through that opportunity because, you know, to get that position. People dream of working for PlayStation. Like, to say that you worked at any point, no matter how long or for what position for PlayStation, is amazing on its own. And I got to meet some of the coolest people, and I got to see chats and ask questions to people like Sean Layden and like John Codera. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which is like so freaking amazing. I mean, who could really say that they asked him a question? So it was lots of fun. I had a really good time, and yeah, if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to ask me. And that's about it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below on what video you guys want to see next, or any questions you guys might have. And yeah, peace out.